Right,
Okay.
guys, I go on.
This is
Finger
an
is there. Do you see the
important
finger?
Got told off there.
Future.
Levels are looking all right. You talk, Linz? No, you're not turned on.
I'm not talking. I'm not. Go on, Steve. Turn me on.
There. Right, guys. This week we have John and Mandy from John and Mandy on Tour on. Hey guys, we are.
All right?
We're very good. We're real big fans of your videos. I know we watch every vlog and have done for about 18 months. I've been watching you guys for. And
Very
Lindsay
much.
actually.
We watch your videos too. You saved us a few quid on the toll roads in France.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic! Yay. Good tip.
Glass door.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
Glad it worked.
the really exciting thing for me is that we've actually never met, but I feel like we know rather too much about your life.
We do get that an awful lot, and it's very strange, but I guess that's just the way things are these days, isn't it? With social media taking off and the fact that we can't get out and see each other in a field.
Yeah, and we've got the added benefit of us both having Daz as a friend as well, so he kind of fills in some bits in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And John and Tash, she always tells me off if I don't mention them.
Yes.
We did meet briefly at Stratford. I don't know if you guys remember. We'd remember because we were obviously big fans. So yes, we did meet at Greg Virgo's send off.
It was.
Yes.
Can't believe that's been like a year, 2 years
It's
ago.
the 5th is it the 5th?
Yeah, a
5th
long
of
time.
End of October, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
I remember it being cold and
January,
wet.
February, nearly 18 months ago.
Yes.
My word. Yes.
But the other thing I was going to say is we have been following you because you are where we want to be
Ah, right.
post kids.
When we grow up.
Yeah. When
we grow up.
You're not kicking the kids out just yet, then.
No, the 8-year-old George won't leave.
Especially with homeschooling going as beautifully as it is.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
It's a little bit exhausting at the moment, but yeah, you are where we would like to be.
We're aspiring to be when we can get rid of these pesky kids.
So it's going to be about 10 years or so. So we're taking lots of notes and seeing where we like.
And getting loads of bits of travelling in the meantime as well, which is great.
Yeah, trying to. Hey, so first off, guys, how's the new fridge? We've got fridge envy. we love them dual-way fridges. How's the new fridge worked out?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
See, John will look at me for that one because I don't even think he's been in it a handful of times.
Maybe a couple of times. I'm not allowed, really, am I?
He's not allowed. It's one of those things because he'll get a can of Coke out, but he won't put another one back in again to stock it up. So I kind of bar him because if I go out for the day or do anything, I'll come back to an empty fridge.
It's like the kids, John.
Eddie, our 15-year-old, keeps wandering into the fridge, having a look.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Having a look up and down. Sometimes he's happy to see what's there.
Oh, right.
Sometimes he's just. Like,
I feel I can
disdain.
I can sympathise with them there because sometimes I go in there and it's like, oh, and another time, oh.
Yeah, but it's also with the van fridge, you kind of got the difference of not quite having the capabilities to stand and stare at it for a bit because they warm up a lot quicker, don't they?
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's my point of view. See, it's like, Mandy, it's using loads of power now because you've left it open for 5 minutes.
So from what I get to see when I go,
that's where I'd be at, John. That's where I'd be.
It's like, open it.
You've not resorted
take a
to making
picture.
lists of what's in there.
Well, put it on the chalkboard above it, we've got a list of everything that's in it with expiry dates next to them, so I don't have to keep going into the fridge. And this is the side I get from John. It's like I get 10 seconds to have a look what's for tea.
Because I can actually remotely monitor the temperature as well. So we've got a little Bluetooth sensor inside it. So if it goes up too much, it starts to let me know on the phone to say, no, close the fridge door.
What's that? Is that the Dometic app? Is that on the Dometic app?
No, we didn't actually do that because the Dometic app needs the Dometic control board somewhere in the van.
Gotcha.
And if you haven't got it, it's quite an expensive upgrade. So this is just a standalone. You can buy it for any fridge or anything like that, just to let you know what the temperature is remotely.
That's cool. I need to get one of them.
You don't.
Mandy.
Don't let him get one, Lindsay. Just don't.
I was going to say, Mandy, I need tips. He spends all our money on gadgets and stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you stash it? What do you do? How do you exist with it?
Oh.
How do you survive?
We've had some people commenting on the video saying Amazon are going to be able to re-employ all of their staff now that we're back in the UK. But yeah.
Yes.
I think the rule of one in, one out works quite well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that then? 'Cause
One
I've not
fridge in,
noticed.
one fridge out.
Yeah, we've got a secret fridge, haven't we, that we keep all the wine in under under Steve's side of
under
the bed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
You'll see that on the van tour video.
Yeah.
It's lovely for the wine. Are you still getting adverts for Villa Maria?
Yes. After the Christmas Day Live, I keep going, well, mate, I don't mind. I like the wine, so that's absolutely fine. But it was just so funny after that. It's like they're listening.
Always listening.
And a ninja cooker as well. That was the other thing.
Yeah. Oh, dear. See, I'm always Googling things for the Instant Pot. So for things to change from getting Instant Pot ads to Ninja ads, I'm just thinking, it's definitely listening.
It's fantastic. I love the Ninja. It's so good. Absolutely.
So we don't want to, obviously, we don't want to ask the same questions that you obviously give to give us anyway. I mean, you talk about your van life and things like that. So we want to dig that a little bit deeper and what have you. So first of all, how did you guys meet?
Well, strangely enough, we used to communicate on something called a CB radio many years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
10-4 good, buddy.
that's it, yeah. And some friends that I had were going to a house to meet up with other people that were going to be there, and lo and behold, Mandy was there.
Yep, it was my sister's house. So he'd gone with his friends to meet up at my sister's. It was like a hub of everybody just went there and drank coffee and whatnot. And I was there. Well, yeah, you don't drink coffee because you're weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just met at my sister's house.
Do you still have the same handles? Is that the right word?
Handles.
I've not used a CB radio for some time now, but I would imagine, I might change it now. Basically, at the time, I went with a handle that I'd had for a few years because I used to be a milkman's assistant, so my handle was Milkman, which is a bit lame.
Yes.
I'm going to put it out there. I was Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, okay then.
Nice.
WWF, Paul Orndorff,
okay.
the wrestler, I went under Mr. Wonderful. Not because I was wonderful, right? I've progressed since to ham radio.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I did go and get my license a few years ago.
Yeah, people
I
ask
thought
us
they were
that
the same
all the
thing.
time. No, people say that all the time because of the registration on the van. They say, "Oh, is that your handle?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but don't call me out. I've not had a radio for years and years and years." CQDL. No.
Okay. Where did your love of this lifestyle start? Did it start in childhood? Did it start when you were together? What stories have you got from when you were little?
Yeah, I think we've both done sort of family caravan holidays. My grandparents used to take me in their caravan they towed, and I think you used to use like the Pontins.
Yeah, it was always Pontins
holidays
holidays and things like that as we were a kid.
Yeah, and then obviously as we had Jem, and the older Jem got so that she wasn't too dependent on sort of crawl space and things like that. As soon as she started to basically walk around. And
Yeah, it's
stuff
probably
like
when
that,
she was about 3 or 4, wasn't it? We started with caravans.
Yeah.
Just got some used ones, and we've had bits where we've had caravans for the whole time, and then we've not had caravans because we've not had room or not had the money or whichever ways, but we've gone in and out, and we must have had 15 maybe more different caravans over the years.
It's a love-hate relationship between loving the outdoors and hating towing.
So the way around that was for me to pass my towing test, because I just found more relaxed and easygoing when towing than you seem to be.
Yeah.
But then it was to move from caravans to motorhomes. We'd gone to Glastonbury.
It was Glastonbury and going around Cheddar Gorge and things like that, wasn't
because
it?
we'd go out for the we'd leave the car there,
Fantastic.
set up, and then go driving around Cheddar Gorge and all the other things. But then having to go back, driving past all of these motorhomes that are parked in laybys and the car parks in the centre, to go back to the caravan just because we've left it there was a little bit of a okay, well maybe it's time we make the jump.
Yeah.
We slept at Cheddar Gorge, absolutely. We did a wild camp at Cheddar Gorge, so I can appreciate that one year, didn't we?
Yeah,
Lovely
that
spot.
was quite a
It is.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Fantastic.
Where's the most exciting place you went when you were travelling as a family of 3 then?
I can't remember the exact location. It was in the Loire Valley.
Oh, right, yeah.
And there was this beautiful campsite. It had a pool and big playground and things, and it was really, really kid safe. But the best thing was where our pitch was, there was a river, and it was quite a wide but shallow meandering river at the back of the van, and we'd gone with some friends who had a couple of kids as well, and the kids literally spent all day with rubber rings, and they'd walk up to the top of the campsite, and then they'd sit on the rubber rings, and then they'd float all
down
the way down the river at the back, and then they'd get out and they'd be doing that all the time. And we did some fishing, and then there was a little bit of a It was like having rapids at the side as well, wasn't there? Some other bits, but it was just beautiful because there was wildlife, there were deer and kingfishers and all these kind of things. But it was one of those just idyllic 2-week jobbies.
I've heard good things about that. That's in France, right?
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a bread van and all that kind of stuff as well, because if someone wants to feed us at the same time, then that always gets extra points.
Some nice baguettes, some croissants, delivered fresh every morning. Oh, I've given up bread.
Guys, I know it'll be a burning question for people out there, but how do you finance your lifestyle when you're on the road?
God, you're going to say it, aren't you? I was going to say, I've done a video about that.
It's a mix of, I work as an IT contractor still, IT consultant. So there's a mix of that work of some companies that I've got that still earn royalties every month from products and services that I've sold in the past. And YouTube, really. The sidekicks of YouTube as well, like the affiliates and things like that, but revenue from YouTube views and things that, people say, how do we do this, and you show them the product we use and then they go buy it, and then we get a tiny little commission from Amazon or eBay from that.
Yeah, and sticker sales and things like that. So yeah, John does all the work.
So does Steve. But I keep our kids alive, so yeah.
Good trade.
Before you went full time in your van, what was your biggest worry?
Probably trying to find somewhere to park, because it really can be sometimes that difficult, especially in the UK. We really struggle with finding places that you can park for sort of maybe 2 or 3 days. Overnight you can probably find anywhere, like Darren or something, urban streets, industrial estates, that kind of thing. But if you want to be out of the way, you want to find somewhere where you can take Coop for a good walk round and things like that, you really want to be more rural, and there aren't that many places you can easily park up for a couple of days or more in rural areas, so it's been a tricky one.
I think having Coop makes a bit of a difference for stuff like that as well, because Daz, as we know, we keep mentioning Daz. We know lots of people who don't have pets who can literally park up in lay-bys and get away with it for a few days. But it does make a bit of a difference. But yeah, finding somewhere to stay. Yeah,
that was a concern that we had. But obviously, as soon as you get to Europe, they're so much more set up, and they just keep. I mean, even some of the places we found, they're just at the side of the road, at the side of a restaurant or something like that. But they give you a toilet empty and fresh water and all that kind of thing. So it just makes it so much easier. So
I think the toilet is the one thing that we...
Because there's 5 people using our toilet. Not
oh, wow, yeah.
So...
Yeah, that's the one thing that dictates to us most often.
So
I think.
Often we'll do, the best we can normally get when we go mainly wild camping is 2 nights.
Right.
And then that toilet's pretty full.
Yeah.
3 at a push. And then baby whitewashes for 2 nights, 3 at a push. Then they want to get a shower, because of course getting 5 people through a shower does use a bit of water.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, we've got it down to 10 litres between the 2 of us for what we would consider to be a thoroughly quick shower.
Yes, definitely.
There you go.
It works out quite well. And we've got the spare toilet cassette, which extends things a little bit as well. Gives us just that little bit of extra time. But yeah, Europe is much better.
But then you've got the floors, getting the boys out the shower, and it's all wet all over the floor throughout the van, and as well. Yeah, showering in our van is not done a lot.
Right. I think going full time, I have to adjust to the fact that my hair is going to be crazy camping hair. 5 days out of 6 or out of 5.5. I'm just going to have to accept that, I
don't think I've ever had my hair tied back so often since living in there.
What is it? About 2 weeks at one stage, didn't you?
16 days was the most I've done without a hair wash. That's not without a shower. That's with washes. Flannel washes.
We totally understand. Totally understand.
And not washing hair. So 16 days is the longest I've gone without washing my hair.
And that's because we were with Greg and Lou and everyone at the time out in Portugal, I think it was, and we found such a sweet spot that we didn't want to go anywhere. So we were eking out every supply we had.
Yeah.
I think some of the amazing comments we get now and again is, for some reason, people really love watching our actual, what we do in the van kind of tasks. So now and again I'll film Mandy drying her hair with a hairdryer or straighteners and things like that, and people say, how have you got that in a van? How do you have a hairdryers and straighteners in the van? So
people think if they go full time or anything that they're going to have to, give up some things, but straighteners aren't one of them if you've got the right setup, is it?
A good inverter, some good batteries.
Yep.
And you can, yeah.
Is there anything that you miss from being in a house at all?
Space.
Even the sniggliest little things, space.
Yeah, I think we said space for Cooper and space for us now and again to get away from each other a little bit.
Yes.
never underestimate that. From time to time, you need space from each other.
Yes, and a door to slam. I miss a few doors to slam. It'd be so nice. When I miss having a big back garden and just being able to open the door and let Coop just have a run round to his heart's content. Because of course, if he goes out, we go out.
Yeah.
And when it's bad weather, then that makes it a bit different. But that's probably the biggest thing I miss.
Yeah. It's quite strange because obviously most people assume because you haven't got a house anymore, you must really miss it. And I don't think I do actually. I think I miss, like say, the really strange things about it, especially in winter. I miss the fact you can just turn the heating up whenever you want. But not full time. I don't miss it.
Well, we're both excited to go full time in the van as well. But our idea of full time in the winter, I think, is the same as yours, to be in the south of Spain.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I'm just wondering how you guys and Coop and that Fandango fancy new diesel heater are coping with the temperatures in the UK at the minute.
Well, strangely enough, today we've had to spin the van round because where we were parked up, we thought it was all right. We had nice views. We've had the diesel heater on, and we have the LPG heater on for a little bit as well to get hot water. But we were finding that there's still condensation in the boot, even though we've got a nozzle from the heater going in the boot as well. So we've actually turned the van round today because we've had sun for a couple of days. So try and get the back of the van in the sun so it heats up the boot a little bit. So I guess.
Are you airing out your booty?
Yes. Not like a bit of sun on the rear end.
Yeah, that's it. Got to get it warm up, haven't you?
Is your booty where the sun don't shine?
Yeah. It shines there now.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit of a struggle with such zero freezing temperatures.
Yeah, because you have to have the heating on fairly often. Otherwise you will get more condensation. Condensation is just never something you really want in your van. As far as Coop's concerned, he's not really too fussed. We've got jackets for him and things like that when we take him out.
He's got an assortment of suits now.
Yeah. his booties and shell suit.
Yeah.
Do they coordinate with his mood?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's gorgeous.
Oh dear, no, he did
Such a
really like that
sweetheart.
new little suit that we got him, though. He was proper prancing around in it, even though he kept looking behind him I think he thought something was following him, but it was him rustling that was making the noise, so he kept just turning around, just like, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, poor little fella. Just imagine that.
So yes, your plan is kind of south of Spain for winter normally, as
Yeah.
ours would be.
I would say that we made a mistake this year. We thought we'd try something different out, which is to go as soon as we possibly could after the restrictions that were in place. So we shot out, when was it now? Early November, wasn't it?
Yeah, 23rd of November
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
So we're out there for Christmas, New Year and everything else, but I think we missed family, we missed some of the occasions, whereas the year before we'd waited until Boxing Day sort of evening and then set off just before New Year's.
Yeah.
And that gave us a longer time out there. I think I've got an ADHD kind of like travel time, so after 2 months I get quite bored and I want a completely different change of circumstances.
Yeah.
So we just need to plan that better. But I think setting off just before New Year, having 2 months in the warmth and the sun, come back to the UK for early March, and then it's just about bearable temperatures then. So
Yeah, I think January, February.
These are the coldest months, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're colder than December.
Yeah. And it means that
But
we get...
we did exactly the same.
Yeah.
As soon as the restrictions were lifted in
July,
we
shot out there as well. We were
Yeah.
totally.
Well, to be fair, we'd already booked. We'd just not cancelled our bookings. So
okay.
shall we? Shan't we? Will we? Won't we? Yes. Oh.
Oh, see, we did that so often, and then we could just see, because things weren't locked down when we left, but you could kind of see that they were thinking about doing it again, and we're just like, right, well, let's go. And we could still go around France and everything, it was just the masks on, the usual thing, so everything was was good enough for us to go, but we were rumming and ahhing a lot before.
Yeah, our trip to Scotland was because we were ready to go, and then we thought, well, let's just travel around the UK for a bit longer, just in case they close the borders or something like that. So, yeah. It's just being out there travelling, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your footage, some of my favourite YouTube footage from the whole of the year is your footage of you driving in convoy out to Holly Island.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
So beautiful.
That
So
combination,
well
that drone shot there,
Yeah.
John, was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great because you get to show people exactly what you're seeing from a perspective. Obviously, even you can't see at the time, but it's really bad in considering there's 3 other people behind you going, "Can we go now? We've got to pull over now, John. Can we set off again?"
Yeah, it's just thanks to radios. It's like,
Yes. We've got to get the shot.
Yeah,
right?
that's
I
it.
understand that.
Absolutely.
We've got to get the shot.
It's all for Instagram and YouTube.
At least they were all grown ups. I was a teenager. Going,
Yeah,
oh, they can be just as bad though.
yeah, true.
Yeah, especially me.
Oh.
While I'm on the coal, while we was talking of coal, diesel heater, John, how is it on diesel? I mean, it warms the van well. Does it go through a lot of diesel? Because we were considering getting one ourselves.
Yeah, the coldest we've had it so far, when it got down to -3, -4 for a couple of days, it went through, I think it was 5 or 10 litres in about 3 days, because we literally had it on full to keep the cold out of the van, more or less for 24 hours a day for those 2 or 3 days. But on average, if we can bear the heat mostly, as long as it's around 0 or above, we can bear it most of the time during the day. We only have the heating on maybe for an hour, then off for 2 hours, back on for an hour. And we try not to have it on overnight, or if we do have it on overnight, it's really low, just to stop, pipes freezing and things like that. That can bring it down to about a litre and a half a day. So in that regard, it's pretty economical.
That's perfect.
We've done the stats on costs between LPG and diesel, and the cost implications are that LPG is around about 4 times, 3.5, 4 times the cost to heat the place
Than it is over diesel,
the diesel.
The diesel's that much more efficient.
Yeah, it's so much hotter. The heat that comes out of it is so much hotter.
And am I right in thinking you've switched your fridge, not because you've got a fancy Fandango 2-way door
that we're jealous of.
that we're jealous of, but you've switched your fridge and to the diesel heater because it's just that much harder to get LPG nowadays? Is that the reason you've made the jump?
Yeah, a little bit. The fridge we found it wasn't really any efficient at all as you were driving down the road. So forget 12 volt on a 3-way fridge. It might as just be called a 2-way fridge. We don't really go anywhere that's got power, so we were constantly running it on LPG, and because of that it just constantly froze up at the back. So we'd be defrosting it, and then like 2 weeks later it'd start to frost up again, and then a month we'd be defrosting it again. We're going through that cycle. So we looked at larger versions of the 12 volt fridges everyone puts in a camper conversion, and then we were sort of shown this model and thought, well, we'll go for it. Really, it is more difficult trying to find LPG these days because everyone seems to be pulling out of supplying it rather than new places providing it. We've got a really good 12 volt setup in the van, so it just seemed to be a bit of a no-brainer to do it now rather than keep struggling with a fridge that doesn't perhaps or isn't really designed to be running full time. And yeah, LPG now is just for hot water for a shower and cooking really.
Yep.
And the type of fridge you've got is the same as I think the wine fridge I've got underneath the bed here. It doesn't work on ambient temperature like the other one would always work at, I think, 25 degrees below ambient. So when we were in 45 degrees of grease, the fridge doesn't work that well. Yep. Am I right in thinking that new fridge is much more efficient in hotter weather? Yeah,
the new fridge basically is like a normal compressor fridge like you have in your house. It's just on 12 volts, not 230, and it keeps its temperature control. So we did a test of it on. We bought a little compressor chest freezer or fridge freezer, just to do a test, just to see if they hold their temperature in a freezer mode and fridge mode. And we took that away before we decided to buy this. We took it away, so all of our travels we were carrying, if you like, a test model with us, and we had that on freezer -20, so it could have been 30 degrees outside and the contents inside were -20.
Absolutely.
So,
I want a new fridge.
It's the same as the little one we got.
Yeah, I can't recommend them enough, really.
I wanted to talk about Mandy's one pot dinners.
Legendary one-pot dinners.
I keep watching them and going, how do I scale those up to 5?
Yeah.
I need a cauldron.
Bigger pan, yeah.
I'll give you an exclusive right now, so bear with me.
Ooh, drum roll, please.
We're up in our game. So you know
Look
we
at
got the
this
new
fan down
solo
there.
stove,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
and we're going to do some outdoor cooking on the solo stove. So here's our one pan for cooking outside.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Is that bigger than the other one you're using?
No, I would
Similar
say
It's about the same size,
yeah, about the same size.
Bit deeper.
Yes.
solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that needs
very
properly
heavy.
seasoning as well.
It
doesn't it?
says it's pre-seasoned, so it just needs
Yeah.
one going over with the seasoning. It should do just one lot of heating and cooling. Should probably
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd need a cauldron. Are they the same kind of meals that you did before you set off travelling, or have you changed how you cook?
Yes.
Still gnocchi.
Yes,
favourite.
I've always looked. It's France that's given me my love of gnocchi. Although I got very excited the other day. I went into Morrison's and they had cheese stuffed gnocchi. You know, the Rana
Oh.
range. So they had that in Morrison's. So I
quite
did a
tasty.
little dance in the aisle because I'm like cheesy gnocchi dance. But no, I mean I think because you when you're in the house, it's so much easier to have the grill on and the oven on and something on the hob at the same time and not really think about it. Especially having a dishwasher, it's just one of those things that use
Yeah.
all the pans. Don't worry about it, and just chuck them in. But no, I think I started trying to keep the washing up down as much as I could, which is where the one pan things came in. And
We
it was
get that.
just
We
like,
get that.
how much can I fit in that pan?
We don't. I get that.
I do the washing up now and again. I'm not that useless.
No, you're not useless.
I'm barred from doing the washing up because apparently I don't put things back in the right place.
He literally stands
No.
next to me and he dries all the pots and then he puts them on the bed. And I'm just like, right, well, I'll do it because they don't go on the bed.
Isn't that where they go? No.
No, and it's my bed. It's not even his bed. So I can't even go for a nap after doing the pots because it's full of everything. So
I like it when Steve packs the cupboards.
Oh,
He always whinges about how I pack cupboards.
yeah. The label's the right way round.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like Tetris.
Yeah.
And it's like Tetris. Yeah, I do have ACD. Not OCD. It's in the wrong order.
no, I think it's funny because even with the shopping and putting things away, John doesn't come into the supermarket because it costs twice as much. I just get buy something that I like, and I'm like, that's everything.
I tend to walk around with my arms out like that with shelves. Scoop.
It's just a
Naughty treat.
He's just like our boys, isn't he? He's just like going shopping with our boys.
Yeah. So he's bad from there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the one pan meals, the one pan meals have come from the fact that it's less washing up. There's more things that you can throw in. I am more experimental with my food now than I used to be.
Yes, he will try a lot more because we had an agreement when we moved into the van
Yeah.
that John would try more foods as long as I didn't try and trick him.
Kill
There had
me.
to be some sort of trust thingy there that if I knew he'd like it, then he's willing to try everything.
Yeah.
But like no smuggling sprouts in food
Oh, no.
and stuff like that. So as long as we kept to that, then John tried more. And
He's
because
not a
was-
veg man, is our John, is he? He's not a
No.
great lover of veg, if I'm
No.
right.
It's maybe 5
Neither's Darren
veggies.
either.
No.
No.
Darren ate cauliflower the other day. That
Mind
was
you,
a
we-
shocker for me.
When we got back, we had to quarantine and we treat ourselves with food, strangely enough. But, so after our 10 days of quarantine, we actually did get a curry, and it was a biryani is my favourite, but it came with chickpeas, peas, beans and everything else
It
in
had
the
green
biryani.
beans, chopped green beans and everything. I thought it looked wonderful, but John was horrified.
Yeah, but I still ate it
Well
because
done.
it was food.
I'm just working on courgette at the minute. It's got this thing that courgette's going to ruin the flavour of everything, and I'm just like, courgette doesn't actually taste of anything.
Yeah.
So what have you discovered that you like now that you didn't know?
Whatever Mandy cooks.
Carrots and peppers.
Well done, Mandy.
I used to do
Carrots and peppers.
Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, and I'd have to pick out all the peppers for John's portion, and I'd have more peppers than anything else, but I'd always add mushrooms into it as well. So so there was something that he liked in there, and then I just turned around and said, listen, if you want to pick out your peppers, you can pick out your own peppers. I'm done. You're 50.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It might seem a long time ago, but remember when you used to be able to go to restaurants and order food? One of my favourite lines to say to them as I'm ordering my food is, imagine if you will, caveman, that he just likes his meat and his potatoes and that's about it, then that's the way I'd like my food brought to me, please. So don't bring me any of that vegetation stuff. Leave that out.
We've not cultivated that yet.
No.
No, you were very similar.
Yeah, I've liked peppers for some time. I'm not a carrot man. Peppers are all right.
I normally grate the carrots up and hide that in his food, though. You must admit.
I was going to ask you if you do that. I do that for like tomato sauces.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
It bulks it up wonderfully, doesn't it?
So we're dead similar ages then, I think.
Yeah.
I'm 50 this month. I'm 50 in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, we're supposed to
happy
go to
birthday,
Amsterdam
then.
with our friends.
Thank you, John. And you're a similar age. John,
yeah, I was
understand?
50 last June, but because obviously last year was a write-off, then
Yeah, we don't count.
we don't count last
You
year.
delayed it.
Yeah.
So you'll be 50 this year as well.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Right, I've got a couple of questions that I like to ask everyone because I like to know.
Okay.
So, has there been a bit of advice that anybody has given you that you think anybody going into full-time van life needs to know?
Ooh.
Or is there a piece of advice that you've found out for yourselves that you want to share?
I would say for me, the piece of advice of don't listen to what people think. So if people think anything bad, everyone will have their opinion about anything that you do, and not everybody even knows there's such a thing as van life.
Yeah,
so
true.
you're talking to people and they have no idea. So don't listen to everything that people think. There's plenty of other people like-minded who can give you good pieces of advice. Because I think that worries a lot of people. They'll talk to people about anything to do with being in a van, and they'll always get something negative because people just don't get it. But yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good.
I guess
That's
so,
lovely. That's
yeah.
good advice.
That's lovely advice. That's wise. Wise Mandy.
Wise Mandy. Ooh.
She likes that,
Doesn't happen very often.
isn't it just?
What about you, John? Have you got a bit of advice that someone gave you? Or
I
that
mean,
you
I'd
want to
probably
give?
go along the same lines as, don't always understand everybody else's problems as something that you will encounter as a problem. We were told all sorts of horror stories, like, being broken into, being graffitied and all that kind of stuff. And I'd always say that you trust your gut. If you're going to park up somewhere or visit somewhere and leave your van or whatever, just trust your gut, make it as obvious as possible that you've making every step you can to protect the van. Because obviously it's not just a van, it's not just your vehicle, it's now your home. So do everything you can to protect it. Don't go to places that you've got the slightest inclination that there's going to be an issue there. But
Yeah, so many places we've driven off from because just John's guts is just going no, we're not staying here.
But I think the biggest thing that I found, and it was absolutely contrary to everybody else's stories they were telling us, is that people are so very friendly out there. Everybody seems to be. Even the idiots that we had problems with lockdown, as soon as we weren't locked down, they started to be friendly with us. It's just very strange that everyone's friendly, everyone wants to understand and wants to listen to your story. Why are you living in a van, kind of thing? That I think, don't be scared by the big step. Just go out there and explore and just soak it up.
It's what I've been saying all the time. I think the best of people in the first instance, and then it's their fault if I'm disappointed. It's not
Exactly.
mine.
Always assume the best.
Yeah.
Always assume the best. I think a lot of what you came across must have been down to fear.
I think
Most
so.
people
Yeah.
were so afraid about everything
Yeah.
that you being there was just an extra thing that they could lash out against.
I've seen a couple of vans graffitied, and I've worried and woken up in the morning and thought, I'm just going to check the van didn't get graffitied last night. And so I know that worry about things like that.
Oh, gosh.
Absolutely.
I'm oblivious.
You
So
are
I always
too.
I'm at the point where if John gets worried, and if like when we went to Holy Island that time with Daz and Pete and Tash and John. That if my John gets worried about something, then I know it's a thing. But he's also got this thing where we'll just be like, "I'll be fine, don't worry, it'll be fine." So then everyone looks at Tash's John, he's going, "What do you think?" It's like, if he thinks it's a problem, then we're not staying there. So it's just literally like, "What do you think? Who do you think? Who's got the most sensitive?"
It's the rule of John's.
Yes.
It's the rule of John's.
Which is
John
still
feels more
50-50.
Yeah.
Jahan or John.
Oh, that's right. Jahan and John. Yes.
And another question that we've really got to ask you two is, do you both have a favourite gadget in the van? John, you've got to pick a baby.
Oh, yeah. That's a really
head's gonna
difficult
explode.
one, yeah. Favourite gadget. I mean, is it? Can we say phone, or is that like just a lame excuse of an answer?
Say whatever you like.
If you had to take every gadget away, the phone would probably be the last one I'd want to
Yeah.
be left with. I'll tell you now, Darren said solar, and Phil said router.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, you can't
But
have
phone is a
either
good
unless
choice.
you've got batteries, so I'd have to start off with my batteries. But yeah, actually, I suppose my batteries are a gadget because they've got Bluetooth in them, so I can go and connect to them and make sure they're all happy and healthy.
Yeah, and boy, do you do that all the time.
Yeah.
I get Lindsay to do that. She's got the app on her phone as well.
All right.
Well, I've not gone that
Sometimes
far.
I have to ask her to check.
Yeah.
It's only
Like to
recently
read
that I've got the
numbers.
fridge one.
Yeah.
You see, for mine, can I say the van?
You want the van to be the gadget?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's got all the things in
You
it.
can say whatever you like, Mandy.
Yes. 'Cause it'll be a close call between the van
Yeah.
and my Kindle.
Ah.
Oh, Kindle all the
Kindle.
way.
See, my Kindle, because it's escapism, isn't it?
While we're on the subject of your van, do you want to remind us what van you're in, by the way?
It's a Bursner Nexo
T690
G Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Catchy,
All
catchy.
the things.
Yeah, it's really
Rolls
catchy.
right off the tongue.
Trips off the tongue beautifully.
But to us, it's called Bertie.
Bertie.
Yeah.
Bertie.
Bursner.
Yeah.
Now, we know you didn't set out in full-time van life with Bertie.
Yeah.
Why did you do the transition into Bertie after doing a few months of initial van life in the other van?
Cooper.
Mainly, yeah. And going back to that thing of space as well, you know, the one thing like
Yeah.
the house might be more beneficial now and again, but it's the space. And then the last van,
Yeah.
whilst it was a compact van, you know, it had everything we needed. Everything was a very, very big compromise. So much so that you couldn't walk past the other person anywhere in the van. Cooper couldn't get up on the bed at the back.
No, because we had the camera in
Yes.
there. If ever we'd left him, we could see him trying to jump on the bed at the back and then not quite making it and then falling off. And it's heartbreaking watching
Yeah.
him do that. And we're just like, right, well, we'd
Bless.
already lowered the bed a little bit as well. And we just got really fed up of all the little compromises. And it was poor Coop that had the majority of the compromises.
Yeah.
So we got ourselves a list and we were sat on the beach in Quarteira
Yeah.
in Portugal.
On
and
Auto Trader looking at this
yeah,
van.
looking, and we found this exact van, and we're just like, right, okay. So we spoke to the dealer a little bit, and then we're just like, well, we'll just see if it's still around when we get back, and did some numbers and whatnot. And then when we got back off the
literally.
tunnel, instead of because we always get off the tunnel and go north, we went left.
Yeah, we just went straight to the dealer and saw the van. He wouldn't let us buy it there and then. He went, oh no, there's a pub down the road. I know you like your pub meals and all that kind of stuff. Go to the pub, have a think about it. And we literally went over and we'd already kind of made our minds up anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was it, really.
But I'm the kind of person that needs 5 minutes. I don't like change, so I literally need to let it settle, and I need 5 minutes of right. Well, what we're going to do with this then? But yeah, it was good.
So you're at a transition there and then. You literally had to move home, get all the stuff out of the old van,
Yeah.
put it in the new van.
Yep.
Yeah, it was quite fortunate, I guess, the dealer knew us, so it wasn't so difficult when I said to him, can you please have a spot where our van can be parked next to the new van, because we need a couple of hours to move everything over. It's not like a normal kind of come on, pick it up and off you go. And he said, yeah, no problem. They were quite nice like that. They said, you know, you can have a bit of the forecourt there, take as long as you need. And
They filled it up with drinking water for us
yeah.
because they knew that we'd
Brilliant.
need that straight away. So they were really, really good and really
Brilliant.
helpful with
yeah.
doing that. But yeah, it was a good thing. It was good timing as well,
Yes.
because we picked this van up on the 16th of March and the lockdown on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So
And we've
Wow,
both
really
said,
good timing.
yeah, we've both said that we would have probably been renting somewhere, a house, Airbnb, whatever.
if we were in the old van,
Yeah, if we're in the
still.
old van in lockdown,
you
we
hadn't
wouldn't have
done
been
it.
able to survive.
Yeah.
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 Okay, money's no object. What upgrades would you do to your van that you have now, and or would you just go for something completely different? I'm going to write you £1 million check and say, here, what do you want to do with it?
I mean, we've seen so many of those what are they called? Something Concord.
The Concord.
Yeah, where you've got like the smart car that goes in the back of it and all that. But I've also seen a lot of the MAN trucks that have also got the little smart car that goes in the back and go anywhere. And we've had a couple of sneaky peeks around both, obviously, as you do when you're driving around. I fancy, obviously, as you can tell by this one, I fancy the ability to go anywhere I can. So I would say one of those proper MAN overland conversions.
Oh, that's a good job. It's £1 million then, because he'll be living in there by himself.
You're not going to go and sleep in the smart car then?
No, none of that. I'll have one of those, one of the Concords, or the ones with the big comfy captain's chairs that recline with a footrest.
They are nice.
And, you know, it's got the generator in the back, so I can just have coffee. And the coffee machine on full all the time.
See, we've seen the best of both worlds of that. We've seen when we're using a bit of holiday time when we used to live in the house. We took all our holidays in one block and did a tour across America. Just rented a car and used hotels. But we've seen the best of that, where it's the big kind of RV, like those Concords that you see around Europe.
Slide outside.
Yeah,
and
all that gear. But he was towing 2 trailers. On one of the trailers he had jet skis, and the other one he had a massive big Ford F-150 on the back.
Literally towing it with it. We've got a photo of that, so we'll have to dig that one out.
Yeah, so if I had any money, any sort of money no object kind of purchase, then probably something like that.
Something big, and then
So
tow
then
all
we
the
did
other
that.
stuff.
Yeah, so Mandy's got the comfy bit, and I've still got the vehicle I can go and explore in.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Perfect.
Like your choice, John.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
guys, I go on.
This is
Finger
an
is there.
important
Do you see the
one.
finger?
Got told off
The
there.
future. That's it.
Okay.
One very last important question. Post this weird time we're in now, what's the dream trip? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to go with?
Our dream trip before all this happened was Scandinavia. So we get sort
Isn't
of
it?
late summer, early winter. So you can get the 24-hour day, and then you also get a little bit of the northern lights as it starts to go dark and things like that. Get up to the North Pole, get up to Lofoten Islands, all that kind of not North Pole.
North Pole. I was going to say we can't get to the North
No.
Pole. We know Lofoten and the Arctic Circle.
Northern.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was a dream trip, and we had some people. I hope they're still involved in wanting to come.
You
but
wanting to come,
yeah.
There was a list, and then whenever we'd speak about it, and people say, "Oh, can we come?" And it's like, yeah, 'cause
yeah, it
it's
did grow a
literally-
little bit.
Yeah,
Convoy.
Yeah.
it would have been absolutely wonderful. And I just want my thing with that is I'll do all of that. I don't like the cold, but if we go and do all of that, I just want to really take our time on the way back, and we do the ferry up through Denmark on the way out, and then go the long way all the way back through Sweden,
Norway and everything.
and-
We had people that had different times that they could either take off work or, cost wise. So we were going to get there as fast as
fast as we
possible,
can.
and then make our own routes on the way back, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
Ah, sounds fantastic.
We've certainly discussed that trip and we've planned it. But when it comes to summer, then we chicken out and we go south for the weather.
Yeah.
To Europe. And we go to Croatia most years, or we go to Greece or Spain and Portugal. And we want to do that trip, but we think the boys are going to be a little more bored, cooped up in the colder weathers where there's more
Right.
for them to get out and swim in the sea. So I think that's one we're saving until we get rid of them pesky kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be joining
get
you.
a
If
new-
you haven't done it by then, we're joining you.
Yeah, it's like, get an inflatable kayak and some fishing rods.
yeah, keep them
And
busy.
then, no matter what you do, the
Yeah.
weather, they'll have something to do and they'll be out there.
Yeah, the water doesn't
up in
freeze until
Scandinavia.
about September, so you've got a couple of months out there.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Okay.
I've had a look at your stats this morning, and you've hit 28,000 subscribers.
Yes.
And you've got 4 million video views.
Yeah.
Which is a phenomenal success, and well done. Congratulations.
Thank
you very
We are
much.
blown away every
yeah.
time we have a look. It
And
just blows us away, doesn't it?
We actually saw it the other night and gave each other a little high five.
Just said they were like, high five!
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's thrilling to watch.
But it's thanks to you
and
and
also-
everyone, people like yourselves as well for watching. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for commenting
all.
and liking and
Not at
sharing
all.
and all that.
I'm hoping some of our subscribers that maybe don't know you can go over and show you some love on your channel.
I'm sure
brilliant.
all our
Thank you very much.
subscribers know.
And also, I see on your Gadget John channel, you obviously you give camera tips and advice and video editing and
Yeah.
what have you. What advice would you give somebody starting a new YouTube channel in 2021?
the same advice I've probably done for the last couple of years, because everybody asks the same question: what camera should I use, or what laptop should I buy, and things like that. And it's the same thing. It's go and watch Mevy's channel, because he does everything on his smartphone. He films it on his smartphone, he edits on his smartphone. You've got some amazing effects he can go through. Mark Colum Ivervan also does his smartphone camera editing, the whole thing. So just use the phone in your pocket, but just use it, how can I imagine, creatively. So don't just kind of like pick it up and film things. Be a little bit more creative about the shots that you want to do, and you'll get more people watching it then, because their intrigue is raised. Like, oh, this is a little bit different. That's basically all I say to people at the moment, is just don't go out there and just film everyday stuff. Film it from a different perspective, or take your time to learn a few little different camera tricks. Peter McKinnon, I mean, go watch Peter McKinnon. He'll teach you everything you need to know.
Even Lindsay likes Peter.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know? That's the thing. Who doesn't know?
I'm not interested in the tech stuff.
So there it is. Use your phone. An iPhone nowadays they do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
We started our channel a year ago just using my iPhone. So totally good advice.
Yeah.
Oh, and happy 1 year
look where we
anniversary,
are
by the
now.
way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was, what a great year to start a travel vlog.
Well, yeah. Which can only go upwards.
Yeah, it's going to be so much easier when things sort themselves out.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for doing this. We really, really do appreciate it.
No
That's
problem.
been
Thanks
loads
for
of
having
fun.
us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been
Not
great.
at all.
Thank you.
And keep up the good content, because we just love watching your vlogs. So
Will do.
Oh,
do
thank
keep
you.
up
Thank
the
you
good
very
work.
much.
And we hope we're going to meet up real soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
really
sure we
soon.
will do.
Absolutely.
Sure we
It's been
will.
lovely.
Now
All
I
right.
know we're best friends forever. Not just in my imagination anymore.
No.
They'll see me coming and go, oh.
Hang on, she's like, oh, with a bottle of Villa Maria in one hand. I'll be like, hey!
Mandy, I've got some. No, thank you very much. This has been a real pleasure.
It's
No
been
problem.
lovely, guys, and we'll catch you guys real soon.
Yeah,
Thank you
cheers.
so much.
Thanks
Bye
very
bye.
much.
Yeah,
Then.
take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.